Well, there was a man with 16 chickens and all refused to lay. So he went and buy a big red rooster. When the chickens see the rooster, they suddenly gone mad. He could see them chasing him round and round the yard. Boy, you could see the rooster running, 16 sexy chickens chasing him round and round the corner. You could see the rooster running, 16 sexy chickens chasing him. Falling for murder. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Man, the rooster galloping, he moving very fast. 16 chicken really have him going. Finally, they corner him and refuse to let him pass. Stand up if you hear him blowing. And if you see the rooster running, 16 sexy chicken chasing him wrong and wrong the corner. If you see the rooster running, 16 of them, imagine falling for murder. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Pokioko. Well, they trapped the mister and they started advancing. We have not seen a rooster since October. We will treat you nice and bring you food. You will live just like a king. The history books will call you the chicken Casanova. Might you see the rooster running, 16 of them and they're chasing him wrong around the corner. If you see the rooster running, 16 sexy fowl and they're chasing him, he born ever murder. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Pokioko. 6 o'clock next morning, well, they had a funeral. 16 chickens crying in the place. If you see the rooster, like the Prince of Madrigal, lying in the coffin with a big smile on his face. And if you see the rooster running, 16 sexy chickens chasing him wrong and wrong the corner. If you see the rooster running, 16 sexy chickens chasing him, he fall for murder. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr. Mr. Pokioko. Run, Mr.
That's right. Run, Mr. Rooster. Welcome to the Ken Rampersaud Show here on Island Zone Radio in New York. We are broadcasting live on Island Zone Radio. You can always catch us on Facebook Live and on YouTube. So please prepare to join us. If you're not, share the show with your friends and your family. It's an interesting show today. One surprise that I'm happy to have is that, as I said today, that I want to bring some awareness with alcohol abuse and so on in our community, but I want to do so in a very in a classy way, not to bash anyone, not to bash anyone's culture, but as a detox nurse, there is so many things I'm seeing, and sometimes I don't know what to say. But I'm glad that two of my guests that's here today in studio, that they will talk about it. Like I said, please share. My guest to the extreme left, Bibi. Most of you guys have seen her on my page, on her page, where she's talking about alcoholism and so on. A lot of times she's like, I, as a nurse and as the host for this show, I'm like, oh my God, she's bawling for help. How can we help her? And she will tell you that I've been supporting her through her journey for a very long time now. Um, the other thing is that in the middle of us, it's her husband. Um, I just learned that he decided to come on the Ken Rampersaud show to share his story, which I applaud him for doing this, because you know what? Sometimes we wait until the horse really run out of the stable, and then we really want to catch the horse. But we're going to try to put things in perspective today. He's going to share a little bit about him. One thing I forgot to tell you guys about Bibi. Bibi is a very giving person. She've always helped people in Guyana, always donated to my cause, always donated to the older people, the older folks in Guyana and the kids. So, Bibi, I am so glad that you are here. Thank you very much for coming on this show, the Ken Rampersaud Show on Island Zone Radio.
Thank you.
Good to have you on. I hope
Yes.
that you get the and please support her. Give her all the support that she needs. This is the first time that both of them are coming on this show and actually speaking out about this. So, Krishna, I want to say thank you very much. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Right. So let's start. Bibi, you are a Muslim girl, right?
Yes.
Go ahead and talk.
I am
Sure, your daddy's a
Muslim.
Meiji.
Yeah, from Pleasance, and I'm born religious, and I never know about alcohol until I met Krishna. I was 12 years old when I met him,
Right.
and he used to drink,
Yes.
and I didn't understand. Then he used to have seizures. I didn't understand what's happening. I used to fall down at Forgatees and all over, and I used to pick him up, and we were boyfriends and girlfriend. And my father brought me in America, and there Krishna come there too.
Oh, he follow you all over the place.
Yes.
Yes.
And we find back each other, and we
Good.
have a daughter together. But as the years and everything go by, he get worse, and he doesn't beat me. He doesn't. He just sneaky.
He's a good boy.
Good boy, but very sneaky, lying. Where he keep the alcohol on the bed and under the bed and all over, right? And one day, my friend, a hairdresser, I know him since my daughter was 6 years old, and he is a gay guy, and he was alcoholic.
Right.
And he told when he was on the street, this addiction. Then I start understand what this addiction. I went with the hospital with him.
The same guy you're
The
talking about.
guy,
Yes.
his name is Dennis. Everybody know him from Liberty, Dennis. And I went there, and he held my hand, and he said, Shamiza, get help for Krishna before it's too late. You
Right.
love him, you know him since you're 12 years old, get help. Nobody support me. I tried to only my parents, my my father, my sister, brother. They don't know about alcoholism, but they try to support me. My daughter is supporting us, you know. So I took him AA programs, outpatient, detox, everything I'm taking him. So, that's my story.
Well, one of the things that I want to say is that I really commend you for standing up behind Krishna. And I saw you, we spoke a couple of times, and I saw you were crying. I saw the tears in your eyes. And I'm like, I stand there and don't know, but I know what to tell you to do. And I'm so glad that he went and get treatment. So, Krishna, let's talk about you a little bit. And like I said, I commend you for coming on this show to highlight what alcoholism is and really what it does to people. So, you started drinking at what age?
Uh, Thank you, everyone, for listening to me. I started to drink in my country in Guyana at the age of 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
There, where I had my first shot,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going by with friends and school friends and stuff like that to get into this addicted to it, and then leave for United States. But after when I leave for United States, it was kind of calm down. Then I go back to it again. Go back to it now. It becomes worse. When my daughter born, is then after she grew and stuff like that, I go back to it again. So I was like up and down, up and down, up and down.
It's a
with
struggle. You've been struggling with recovery.
And also because of job wise and stuff like that, I was home for at least like a year, and I'm getting frustrated and that I'm not getting a job and stuff like that. But after a while,
So you drink when you're happy, you drink when you're sad, you drink when you get some extra money. Every time you drink, right?
Yes.
So did you ever try to stop drinking? Really, I'm going to stop. I'm going to give up this. Because the truth of the matter is, when we met one time, you told me, boy, I'm going to give this thing up. But you still went and drink. So we want to tell you that, and in the next hour of this here, we will talk to a counselor, and he will talk a little bit. He's the author of another book, and so you said you tried so many times to stop, and what happened when you tried to stop?
Well, recently I went to detox, and when I went to detox, I stopped for 25 days straight.
Right.
And I don't know what went wrong, and I relapsed. And then I end up going and detox again. And this time, when I detox, I'm okay. I'm 22 days.
Clean. Yeah. 23. That's how guys who drink, they count every days. And like I said, I applaud you. But more importantly, I am so grateful that your wife is behind you. What you want to, I put you on the spot now. What you want to tell your wife? What you want to say about your wife? She is behind you 110%.
Yes, of course. She always behind me all the time, and begging me, stop it, stop. It's time now. You're getting older and older now, and it's about time now.
You look, although you drink, you look 19 though. Right?
Thank you.
But we know that the rum hasn't preserved you. Is there? Let me ask you: when your wife at home, you tend to hide and so on, hide the rum.
Yeah,
You
that
do?
was before.
Yes, you hide the rum.
Yeah,
Where's some of your hiding spot?
all over the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, under the
On the
bed,
show.
put in the
In the
bathroom.
show.
In the shooter?
Yeah.
So you think you smarter than she? That she can't find them rum this?
Oh, she's funny.
She's find them.
Yeah.
Do you think that drinking alcohol and for such a long time, does that make you a bad person, or you're a good guy?
No, make me a bad person.
You think so?
Yes.
I'm gonna. In fact, one of our another guest just came in, so I'm going to let him talk a little bit too. Saudi is from Lenora, and I'm always proud of him. He's like one of my right hand when it comes to addiction and support in our community. I'm sorry that you guys can't get to see him because the studio is so small, but I'm going to give him a mic in a minute to talk a little bit. Um, Also, do you think that that makes him a bad guy? Is he a bad guy to you? No, you could tell.
Never. He never, he was a good person. That's why I stick with him. And I'm going to stick him to the end.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Sadi, I want to put you on the spot. What's your take on all this that you're hearing? You can use this mic, the mic that's, yes, you can use that mic. And that's Sadi. He's a banking guy. He's a popular guy from Lenora. So I always get him whenever we have these kind of topics. So go ahead, Sadi.
Hi. Well, welcome everyone. And Ken, I came here. This is like my fourth time here,
Right, right.
and I don't think I ever had the opportunity to say thank you for what you do.
Oh,
I don't know how many people tell you that, but you do this out of the goodness of your heart, and that is an amazing thing. Giving back to the community. We don't have enough like that. Let me just put it that way, and especially in this area, right? I know you do a lot of other things,
oh
but
Lord,
this
yes.
area is, I think, it's people pass over it, right?
Right, right.
Because back home, oh, the alcoholic guy and the addiction guy, leave them, let them do what they're doing, just leave them alone, right?
Yes.
And I'm thankful that our guest here,
Krishna.
Krishna, right? I'm so thankful that he's here speaking his story. Um, the alcoholic is a sick person. We're
Mm-hmm.
not, they're not bad. They're not evil. They're just sick. It's similarly to somebody who has cancer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. You see somebody that has cancer, you say, oh my God, you lost your hair, you're sick, you have to go through chemo. However, alcoholism has a stigma attached to it,
Absolutely.
right? You see a guy who's an alcoholic, our idea of an alcoholic growing up is the guy who has no money, the wife left him, the kids left him, he can't get a job, and, people give him scraps of food and all of that. Come to find out, that's not what alcoholism is, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A guy with 2 cars in the garage, paying all of his bills on time,
Mm-hmm.
have a really good job, sitting in a boardroom or whatever the case may be, can also be an alcoholic. And Krishna touched it when he explained
Mm-hmm.
what it is that's happening to him,
Mm-hmm.
right? When he starts drinking, he probably can't stop.
Right.
And when he tried to stop in his own, he's having difficulty, right?
Right.
Go to the detox, come out 22 days, go back to the detox, and this is the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem with alcoholic is they're unable to stop on their own free will, right?
Mm-hmm.
The wife has to come behind you. Somebody has to be there,
Mm-hmm.
to help.
Right.
And then there's other areas which I'm pretty sure we're going to touch on later.
Mm-hmm. So, and I want to tell you guys, you know, in terms of, and I have to tell people that, you know, you've been to the hospital several times, and probably we could let the wife talk a little bit, and then Chris will talk a bit. He is going through, and why he's speaking is because he is actually really sick. That you guys probably don't see. Although you see, he smile and he laugh. He's very sick, and his wife is supporting him 110%, as she said. And one of the things that I always I tear up a little bit when she says, "Ken, no matter what happened, I will be right there with him. I'm gonna stick with him through the thick and thin." Um, First, tell me what's going on with him actually, in terms of his sickness and so on, and how has it been for you to deal with all of this?
Well, when the doctor, I had a multiple stroke, so I have speech difficulty
Right, right,
speaking. Sometimes they don't understand what I'm saying.
right.
I went to 2015, 3 years speech therapy.
Really?
Yeah. So when the doctor said the liver is failing,
That's him.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when the liver is failing, I said that's it. We have to do something. And if it doesn't help this, somebody else will hear the story and understand. You really need family support.
Right,
And I'm not getting family support
right.
from his side of family. Right
Mhm.
now, it's a uncle and a cousin, a doctor, who is supporting us,
Oh,
right?
that's good.
Everybody else yelling at him, telling him stop drinking, and that doesn't work.
Right, right.
It doesn't work.
Wow.
We need him to understand. He understand. He's not even answering his phone.
Oh.
That's how bad.
So and we'll have a counselor that will be coming on short in the next
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock and we'll talk about some of that. So tell me, Krishna, you know, what's going on with you really? I know that you said that your liver is failing you, and you have you bleed through your nose. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, being very careful what I say. It's I'm really monitoring what's coming out of my mouth. I want to uplift him and uplift the wife. So if you see me searching for words, is that I want to be very careful because this is a family man, and too many times our family and people on the whole, like Saudi says, people have a stigma on all those who drink, and we know that it's a disease. Really, drinking is a disease. So what's going through your mind every time you have to go to the doctor? Your abdomen is distended. You are passing blood. What goes through your mind?
Actually, what goes through my mind is like something is definitely wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
Where sickness is concerned, because sometimes I cannot even move. I have to walk slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes when I sit on the chair, when I get up, I got to stand up for like about a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can move,
Mm-hmm.
and then started to move faster and faster. So I know definitely something is wrong.
Right. Are you scared
Yes.
and worried too?
Yes.
When you wake up in the morning, I'm so glad I'm doing this because I didn't prepare any question for you, but I'm going off. So the thing is that when you wake up in the morning, what's your morning like and what's your day like?
Oh, morning, when I get up in the morning, go and use the bathroom. Well, I get up early in the morning, so, and my clothing and stuff like that, and I would sit down on the table and go through my phone. Sometimes I get some religious things coming up on the
Yeah, Hindu, right?
yeah.
You're Hindu, wife Muslim.
Muslim.
Meiji daughter you married. That big story, but go ahead.
Yeah, and until
Yeah, because his
6 o'clock.
family, they think alcohol is normal, right?
Right, right,
Drinking is normal.
right.
But in my religion, that's what you call it, haram. You don't see nobody drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Go ahead.
don't quote. In my family, a majority are drinking.
Well, I'm glad you say this, and I know that Sadi knows too. In our Indian culture, when kids growing up, somebody said, "Man, take one shot here, take one shot here." I remember when I was a child growing up, I probably was 14, 15. There was this guy, one of my family. He said, "Take a drink." I said, "No," and he grabbed me and squeezed my throat. Actually, my throat was bleeding, and he threw the rum down my throat, and that was very traumatic for me. We should not be doing that for people and thinking that we should give our children to drink. Right? Go ahead, Sadi.
Sorry.
No, you go.
And the problem is like when they have like Jandy and stuff. These guys been drinking.
What story you tell me now, Jandy? I thought the haram too, but anyway, we got a show coming at the end of the month about Jandy and drinking and stuff. Oh God, a true story though. You tell me the truth.
Yes, the cook right there. The cook right there. And check on
Let me hear what Sadi got to say.
Ken, look, the community we're from, right? Not just Guyana, but if you're Trinidadian, Jamaican, whatever the case may be, right? Once there's a get together, there's going to be some alcohol involved if people are indulging. It's funny, you go to a funeral and everybody's drunk.
Drinking,
yeah. So, I mean, that's a sociological issue, right? But the thing is, going back to having no family support. Unfortunately, that is the case. Right. And this happens. I mean, religiously, yes, it might be haram for some people, but even the Muslim community has, people
absolutely.
who are like indulging and going crazy. And it's not just alcohol. There's a lot of other things, as you know.
Yeah.
You're in the field, right? The pills and and other
Cocaine
stuff,
and so on.
cocaine
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. Heroin now is like
Yeah.
becoming a big thing.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the family, and sometimes it's ignorance, right? It's not that they're stupid, it's ignorance. They do not understand the nature of alcoholism and the nature of the disease, right? For a normal person, they might have a shot and they say, listen, man, that's enough. I'm done. My head is hurting, right? And he used the word, right? It's abnormal, right?
Right.
Somebody used that word, right? Right. So for an alcoholic now, right? He takes one shot, he wants another
Yeah.
because his body
And it's
reacts
gonna be
different
going
to
on and going
alcohol,
on and
right?
going
And you're
on.
going on and going on, right? You have one is too many and 1,000 is not enough, right?
Right.
And you see these guys, right? You go to the wedding,
Yeah.
people at 1 o'clock, all right, I'm done. I'm going home.
Let me take one for the road then.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gone. But then you have
Right.
the 2-3
He's
guys
laughing. Yeah.
who is in the bottom house and they dancing all night Saturday night, all day Sunday, and you can't get them to go home.
Right.
I remember back home, people used to have to chase me for the wedding house because it's
Yeah.
free rum, right? Nobody going home when there's free rum. So, and that is the thing, right? And that's the nature of the disease, and people don't understand that, right? The disease centers in the mind, right, and the body, right? Once
Right.
I
Right.
get, I want, and if you say free rum, I go in,
Right.
right? And it doesn't matter wife, no wife, job, no job. I'm gonna still drink, right? And Krishna is saying that, right? He's
Right. Right.
like, oh man, the wife behind me and this and that, right? And this is the nature of the disease. So until we as a community start viewing it as such, it's gonna remain an issue, unfortunately, and people are dying.
Yes.
let's not
Absolutely.
let's not joke around about it. People are dying. Krishna went to the detox. I'm pretty sure he got some stories he can tell you about it. And you're in the field, you have some stories that you can discuss.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people would say, nah, that can't happen.
Right.
Yeah, it
Right.
happens, man. People, they go to sleep and they never wake up,
True.
right?
True.
And
Yeah.
this is the nature of the disease, right? So anyways.
Yeah. I know you're all fired up. So Krishna, what advice you have for young or for these guys who you think is drinking and who don't have any medical problem? What would you advise them to do?
Well, I will advise them to if they have a problem of drinking, I would advise them to go to AA meetings. They have within the
Right.
area.
Right. Right.
Go to AA meetings, sit down, listen to what they have to say. You can express your feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you?
And don't ever be urged to drink or to be relapse, like what I did. I relapsed for the second time. And this relapse, what a relapse, sent me totally different now. And I'm going to AA programs now. I went to 3 different locations, the AA program, and I learned a lot.
I want to tell you too. Sometimes I get hard on people who drink too. Especially if they have good sense and they know what they're doing. But like Sadi said, it's a problem, and we as family need to know that this is a disease. With you, when you're getting this urge to drink, what you do?
Well,
For the past okay, let me put it like this. Take a sip of water. Let me by the time I ask my question. By the time, for the past 22, 23 days that you've been clean, was there any given time that you said to yourself, listen, oh God, this thing are coming, I want to drink so bad. Really?
No.
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 If that happened, what you going to do?
Hmm?
What you going to do?
No, catch me bed and sleep. That's it.
Oh, good for you. Now, let's get Sadi on the microphone here now. As I said, Sadi, he is one of our guy in the community who always help our community. If you see somebody need help, you always call me, and we try to see how best we can help some people. And these are some of the stories that you don't hear. That what I do, on the side. Largest, I do so much. Today I was thinking I do so much things. Um,
Don't stop. Don't stop.
I know,
It's
right?
good. It's good.
Thank you, but thank you for your compliments too. I didn't, I didn't pay attention. I pay attention, but didn't need to respond. But thank you so much. It means a lot when people really recognize that what you're doing. And then the truth of the matter is that I'm doing this for. I see how this is affecting our community, and to be very honest with you, for the past couple of months, I've seen a lot of Guyanese patients coming into our detox, and why they're coming in, because they abuse their wife, they knock their wife, and they're mandated by the government, by the police and the courts to come. Let me put it, by the courts to come and get treatment. And so that's why I'm seeing a lot of Guyanese guys, and they like when they come and see this Guyanese nurse there
Right.
too.
They feel,
Where
they
you
feel
from?
comfortable.
Guyana?
Yeah.
And then I put my little story, but I'm like a counselor to them too, because I'm like, what's up? How you doing, buddy?
Right.
Where you say you're from? I'm from Guyana too, so you can talk to me any, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're glad. So, what are some of the, sorry, I know that you are versed in, and you know what kind of help. And to be honest with you, I really want to go to one of the AA meetings to sit down and see what goes on, just for the benefit of my show.
Right.
So probably you could hook that up with me. I could go just sit down.
Yeah, I know some people I can get
Yeah,
you involved.
you know.
Yeah.
So what help there is in our community that you go and you feel welcome, you with your own kind, and I'm not being judgmental with anyone, but we like to, when we go somewhere, we see our own people.
Right.
We
right.
feel better. We
Yes.
feel better to share.
Yes.
What are some of the things that, like him, he could do to really help himself?
Right. So, I mean, before I go into that, I just want to say I might say a lot of things. Just know I'm not affiliated with any companies or
okay.
anything. No, just for the general audience. I'm not paid by anybody to come here, right? As you know. So if I say anything, just know I'm not speaking for the company or organization,
Or anybody,
right? So, I mean, and if somebody first they want to need help, right? Like I can't hold you and put you in handcuff and take you to a detox. You need to want to go, right? And for families out there, if they have somebody that's indulging extra or too much, right? They might want to ask them one day, hey, you think you need help? I don't ask them when in the middle of it, right? Because the drunk man ain't gonna want to talk to you when he's having a good time. Wait until the next day when he wake up and the belly hurting and he throwing up and he lying on the floor. Then you ask him, hey, you think you need help there, buddy? Look at you. You can't get off the floor right now, right?
Yes.
That's when you ask them for help. And if they say yes, you immediately get them hooked up with help, right? There are several companies out there that are... They call them the day program, right? Is that what they call it?
Yes.
And you can take them there. Salvation Army, right by Vanwick, they have a program. There's Samaritan Village has a program, right? You have, and if they're and one of the things, and I think you should mention, because you have expertise in this, right? This is your area. I'm not going to go into your area, but if you need detox, right? Christian say he needed detox. Those DTs can kill you.
Right.
People do not realize how deadly DTs are, right?
Right.
Delirium tremors.
Right.
You shake so much, you can't even tie your shoelace, right?
You get that too?
Yeah, the first, sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead, jump in. Yeah.
The first time that I go detox, my whole body was weak. They give me, I don't know what, they give me some liquid and stuff like that to drink. And sometimes I can't move, and I keep using the bathroom like every 5 minutes.
Right.
Clean the whole system.
Yeah, you get diarrhea with alcoholic, so
dysentery they call it, right?
Yeah.
What do they give you? Librium? Is it Librium? They give you?
Yeah, you give them Librium.
Kind of syrup, like
they have different things that they give them too. For the diarrhea, they get tremors, you know what I'm saying? So they give them medication. And I'm glad that you guys talking about it, because when you're drinking, some people can take and we have to say that you have seizures, and you get seizures when you
at that time, the first time I went.
Right. So you went it took you bad where you had seizures. So
Yes.
That's a
one
side effect
right
of
from the
alcohol.
alcohol.
Yeah.
So one of the things is that it's good, like you said, it's good to go to a medical detox, especially alcohol, because one of the things that people really don't realize that alcohol is one of the worst drugs there is.
It is probably the worst
Yes, and
drug.
people don't
Well, we can't
realize
say
that.
that,
Right.
but it's legal.
Right.
You can walk into a store and you
Yes.
buy it, and
Yes.
nobody thinks twice about it. And this is one of the issues with alcoholism because it's available. Now, if you buy weed, the family can say, "Hey, buy your drug, man. What are you buying weed for?" But you can drink all day, fall down,
Yes.
almost killing yourself, but that's okay.
Right. The stigma,
And
as you
the
said.
stigma, right?
Mhm.
So going back to the help that's out there, you have the detox, and Krishna was talking about 12-step programs. There are various 12-step programs, right? And you have the 12-step programs for the family, and you also have for the
The
person.
spouse, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
you have Al-Anon, and then you have Alateen, which is for the kids. And this is the thing, and these are all free. Okay, so if there's family out there listening, you do not have to pay for any of the 12-step program. They're all free. It's just people like you who went through the same thing that can guide you and help you, right?
Absolutely.
Krishna talk about he's going to the AA program. Well, first of all, that's an anonymous program, so you just got to be careful what you're saying and how you're saying it. But that's out there. There's other things, certain religious communities like the Christian community, they're very well set up to help people
Oh,
with
really?
that. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Hindu community and the Muslim community from West Indian background, we don't have that.
Wow.
God forbid you go to a mosque and say, "I have a drinking problem." They're not going to want to talk to you, right?
Really?
That's the reality. That's the reality because we don't have community leaders who are versed in this area to properly help the people in their community, right? That's why when I say thank you, I really do mean it, man, because there's not a lot of people who's going to have a program like this and talk about it openly like this, right? Like, you know how the story go, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever happened in this house, stay in this house. Do not tell anybody what's going on, right? And I have to commend Krishna for coming on
Yeah,
and
man. You gotta bring them
sharing
up.
his experience here, right?
Yeah.
Because there's people sitting at home right now pouring a drink. This man ain't know what he's talking about. Yet you're pouring a drink. You're probably not going to stop drinking
Right.
until 12 o'clock tonight. And then you're going to roll out to bed tomorrow and say, "Oh my God, I can't do this anymore." Right? Krishna talk about that, right?
I want to ask the his wife, Bibi. I know that you went get help in terms of to these meetings. How helpful was that to you?
The first time, right? He was in 2014 at Elmer's Hospital,
Mm.
and he was on suicidal watch.
Lord, yeah.
And I didn't understand what's happening. And the counselor told me that he drank too much. The alcohol level is high. That's why he's on suicidal watch. And they start giving him, what you call it, outpatient rehab. And then they told me about Al-Anon for spouses. Then I go sit the meeting, and then I understand what I'm dealing with. And then when the pandemic, and the liquor store was closed, the second day, Krishna had a seizure, and I had to rush him to Jamaica Hospital.
Really?
And then I understand that he depend on the alcohol.
Right.
And when I tell his family, they tell me like I am the one who need help. Right?
Yeah.
When I talk about suicidal with Krishna, they said, "No, I need the help." Then that's not right.
And that's why we have this show, so that we can help. And I'm sorry that a lot of people really don't watch these kind of shows, but I'm glad I'm making a little impact in our community, bringing awareness and let people know, but it is true, a lot of people blame the spouse rather than supporting you in all of this.
I took him to psychiatrist. okay, to see what's happening to him. All of them said maybe it's an inherit something. I don't know. We didn't. Nobody can test what's happening. You know where alcoholism came from.
What I'm happy at, though, couple good things that I happy. A good thing is that Krishna now decides that he decided that, you know what, I want to stop this. So that's a great thing. In order, like Saudi says, in order for someone to stop doing what they have to do, first they have to accept that that's a problem and you have a problem. So that's a great thing. Kudos to you for that. Because if you don't understand that, you will continue drinking, right?
Exactly, right? Denial.
Denial is a
It's
big
not
thing.
it's not just a river in Egypt. It's a
Right.
big problem, right?
Denial and shame. I think that's the biggest part. Denial and shame.
Mhm.
That's why, that's why we're here.
So let me ask you, Krishna, when you go now to wedding house and thing, and you see them buy some rum, then they must say, buy, come take one shot, buy.
No more.
No, you done.
Yes.
Yeah,
No more
suggestion
shot for
is
me.
maybe not go around that kind of stuff for now.
But,
And yeah,
look, I was in the hospital when the first detox. Then my workplace had a party. And if you see, they had liquor, they had beer, not a single shot.
Oh, watch
I
me
don't
buy
even
there.
think,
Yeah.
not a single
Yeah,
shot.
but we went.
Ask, but she's right here.
We went last week at the Indian Idol.
Hmm.
You see the Indians with alcohol, drinking and stuff, and he sit right there and enjoy the whole 4 hour show. Had a good time, so I show him that he can
Have a
have
good
fun
time.
without alcohol.
I second the motion.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There is life without alcohol, right? Unfortunately,
Right, right.
the alcoholic doesn't know that,
Right,
right?
right,
He
right.
thinks this is the normal life. Like it's Friday afternoon. I
Yes,
work
yes.
all week. I come home. I deserve. I deserve to have this drink, right?
Hmm.
Or you get a promotion, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like let's throw a party, invite the whole family in the backyard. You have liquor flowing, right? Or a wedding, right? Whatever the case may be. Or on the flip side, you lose your job. Oh God, what am I going to do now?
Well,
You go to the bar, you go in the backyard, you sit down with your 40 ounce, and that's the problem, right?
it is strange that you say that because I've heard so many times, and I'm not going to stereotype, but some people drink when them get one big paycheck,
Right,
when they get raised, when their wife get baby, when their wife get pregnant,
right.
and they drink when everything. So, and like I said, I'm so happy that you.
Celebrate.
We celebrate everything.
Yeah, celebrate
My daughter
everything.
married me drink, right?
Well, listen, Guyanese don't even have to be their birthday. Be neighbor birthday, 5 streets behind. Hey, it's John birthday. Let me.
Yeah.
Everybody's partying, right?
Yes.
Whatever the excuse is to
Yeah.
have a drink.
And the truth of the matter is that Saudi and Krishna, for me, right? I've my mother would not tolerate that shit. She would slap me up. She would beat me so bad. So I'm glad for those kind of things with my strict upbringing. But the thing is that like I could go and take a drink, and feel good
Hmm.
and come home and don't think that I have to drink tomorrow or the next day.
Right,
Whereas Krishna, it's a bad thing if somebody offer him a drink and he took it, he takes it.
right.
Now, if he take that drink, guess what? He gonna want another one and another one and
All
another one.
bets are off,
Keep
right?
going on
Yeah.
and going on and going on.
So, what are you doing, and what are you doing really to not drink moving forward to
Well,
continue this?
I'm trying to concentrate. Well, I have my music home.
Oh, you like music?
My keyboards and stuff
Hey, you
like that.
play music?
Yeah, it's be like
Star by?
yeah, be on the keys all the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you ever worry about your wife? Do you ever worry? Oh my God, watch what I'm doing to myself and to her. Really,
Yes, I did.
you worry?
Yes.
What's some of the things that you worry about?
Hmm?
No.
If anything should have happened with me,
Mhm.
I don't know what's gonna happen with her.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, my daughter too.
Oh, yeah. you think about your daughter. You
Yes.
want to be, and the good thing is that you want to be around for your daughter to see daddy. You want to see your grandchildren
Yeah.
grow up, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to tell you about my daughter. This alcohol really take a toll on her,
I'm glad you talk about it. Let's dive into this.
right? I know she wouldn't. I mean, she since she is baby, she remember him drinking.
Right.
The only time when she was little, she used to abuse like she was like what you call a chol child,
Right, right, right.
and when he drunk,
Fidgety.
yeah, he will care and take ATM card and
Mhm.
buy everything. That's the only time she liked it, right?
Right.
But other than that, when she get older, she don't understand. Mom, she used to Islamic school.
Right.
Why daddy have to drink? Ramadan is coming. Hope you, and she will tell him, because of him drinking, she don't have a boyfriend.
Oh.
She think all Guyanese men, whether if they're Hindu, Christian, or whatever, she don't want to hear about Guyanese. She always judge everybody like her father.
No, she can't do that. Tell she this uncle said there's some good
Well,
guy,
now
you know.
she, college and stuff, she's
Right,
thinking
right.
different.
We have, and I want to put it out there because I never want to stereotype. Despite I know a lot of Guyanese guy, they go and drink and beat up their wife and all these things. And I'm not saying everybody do that. However, on this note, in the same breath, I want to say, in every race, in every culture, there is problem with alcohol and drug abuse. So I don't want to say it's only a Guyanese thing, but we are talking about it because it's our culture. It's where we came from. It's a problem. Um, and unless we address these things, we would not get nowhere. Unless people like Krishna come forward and say how it's affecting his family dynamics, we would not know. Let's Sadi want to say something.
Yeah, look, and you know this, right? Alcohol is a non-denomination disease. It
Mhm.
affects everyone. It doesn't matter what your race, what your color is, right? It also is
Right.
in terms of your organs, and you know this
Hmm.
from science, it affects all organs the
Right.
same way, right?
Hmm.
It's one of the only drug that can affect everything the same way,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
I'm glad, that the issue, the things with the family come up, right?
Mhm.
Because we don't realize how much families, the kids are affected,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
I mean, families are ripped
Yes.
because of
Of course.
this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Dad is drinking all the time. He's not home. There's no father figure in the house,
Hmm.
right? Mom has to do everything, right? Mom becomes the dad,
Hmm.
right? She's the mom. She got to make all the decisions. She got to pay the bills.
Hmm.
She got to take care of the kids.
The
She
burden
got
is
to
on
cook,
her.
right? Right. So, and this is what happens, right? So, I mean, imagine you have to, and then sometimes the worst happens, right? They kick him out. And
Yes.
then what happens? You got to end up at a homeless shelter, or some family will take you
A
in.
lot of people get put out too.
Yep. So so it's not just the alcohol.
Hmm.
It's everything
It affects.
about and who it affects. It's like the alcoholic is like a tornado who rips through the family,
Hmm.
right? They're literally like a tornado because it has lasting effect. And she's talking about her daughter. I hope she doesn't get upset when you go home. You talking about her, right? But I mean, think of it, right? A child growing up, and this is what they see. So now you can't blame her if she thinks all Guyanese guys like that, or all Trinidadian guys, or all whatever. All guys are like that. That's forget it. And because why? Because of something I did, right? So when we say it's a disease, it's a family disease.
Hmm.
It's not just the disease for the person that's drinking.
Hmm.
It's a family disease in
Yeah.
the sense that
Absolutely.
everybody is
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
affected. and then your life, what happens? I mean, there's no way God made me to, God made anyone to be an alcoholic or
Right,
to be like that, right?
right,
Christian was talking like, I worry about my family, I worry
right.
about my daughter,
Yes,
right? So these are the things that we were here for. We're not here to be, to be drinking all the time. We're here to have beneficial, fruitful lives, right?
absolutely.
So I mean, and that's the thing, and people don't get that. They don't quite grasp it until you kind of point it out to them, especially in our community.
Absolutely. I see time is moving, but we have like
Right.
8 minutes more to go. Can you believe an hour is going so fast? So let me see. Let's give some love to our viewers, and then we'll come back and we'll ask our panel to really talk a little bit about a minute or two. We have Ramjas Hiralal is watching. He said, and I'm going to read what he says: alcoholism increase your risk of serious health problems. Even if you are healthy, alcohol can cause high blood pressure. If you choose to drink alcohol, do so in moderation. I love that. That's how I do it sometimes. DJ Fest, thank you for watching. Billy Rameshwar, thanks for watching. My sister Anita is watching from Canada. She said the kids do suffer a lot when there's any kind of alcohol or drug abuse. Absolutely. My very good friend Roy, Joy Rambaran, good afternoon. Good to have you. Priya Prasad is watching. Let's see, we have Missy Boo. Good afternoon, my dear. Ravindra Ramcharan, good afternoon. Thank you very much. Lalita Deo Prasad, a very good afternoon to you. And so, guys, please share this. I see Ryan is on. He said, I know today's show is about alcohol, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And the thing is, what worse are family household with child abuse, deception, infidelity, and they are the thing that are still perfect. And that's a good topic we can talk about. However, Ryan, on the same breath, I want to say alcoholism can lead to all these things, or could increase all of these kind of abuse in a family. So probably, and I know Ryan is going to be on tomorrow evening. Tomorrow is such a busy day. We have to go, Miss Etwaru. May she rest in peace. Tomorrow is her funeral. I'm going to pay a little tribute to her. She was my teacher for over 40. She was my teacher back in Guyana. I know her for over 40 years now. So I'll be going there. Then we come back and we have 2 interviews tomorrow night. We'll be talking to Mala Prasad from Canada. She is a singer. So a busy day moving from today to then. I haven't get my questions up for nobody yet, but I'm good with the question in my head anyway. So thanks guys for watching. Neela Pawaru, my friend, is watching. She says, excellent program, Kenneth Rampersad. And guest, brave couple to share their personal issue. Stanley Ramsaran, my very good friend, a very good afternoon to you. And so let's see. And don't forget, don't leave. After this family left, I have an alcohol and drug counselor. He's going to join me from upstate New York, and we'll get down to the nitty-gritty of things, and he can give his professional take on things. Good afternoon to my teacher, Chandrauti Feria. And again, what's your final talk tonight? We got about 5 minutes more to go. What's your final take?
Well, my final word today that 2 times I went to detox and I would not ever go back again. And my whole lifestyle gonna be changed completely. And I promise. That's it.
Okay, and to the wife, what you got to say, my dear? And go ahead, and then I'll let Sadi talk, and then I'll give my closing.
That I'll support him to the end of this
Oh,
because my daughter always she saw the hairdresser how he left on the street
my God.
and she said, "No, mommy, no matter what daddy do, please don't let him go on the street." Right? And I'll do the best. If I have to drag him and take him, I'll do it.
Oh.
And I don't care who I'm his legal wife. I don't care. I
Legal wife,
don't
why?
care. I don't care. I know him since I'm 12 years old, right? So
That's your
I
boo
don't
boo.
care. I don't care,
Oh.
right? Whoever want say
Judge?
anything, judge me or think like I'm a bad person. I give him the alcohol. I get drunk with a piece of black cake, rum cake. So
Yeah.
you can imagine.
Yes.
And I have my support from my
Can I say
father,
something? Or
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
and I'll do my best to help him through this.
Go ahead.
yeah, yesterday I was by the waiting for the bus, and I see a guy like in
The bus, sir.
the bus the bus stop, right? And he started to groan, and the place is so cool.
Yeah.
He groan and groan. It's like, I look at this guy, and I turn to him and say, listen, this cannot work for me. See what and see what this guy going through.
Mm-hmm.
Drunk,
Mm-hmm.
and he was sleeping right there.
And you don't want that to happen to you.
No,
Okay, so let's. We got Saudi. He's gonna say
How much more
something.
time you got there?
We got 3 minutes more.
Oh,
We got
Lord.
time. But,
Okay.
yeah.
So listen. First, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for sharing your experience. And Krishna, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. If you have something that you go to, follow whatever they tell you to do. For the first in your life actually depends on it. I know people usually say things like that and with no real meaning, but I think I think your wife knows, your life actually depends on it. Do it for you.
Yes.
Listen, do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else, because worst case scenario, you do it for the family, and the family all of a sudden say, "Oh, we're gone. That's it." Then what are you gonna do, right? So whatever you're doing, keep following it. Ken, look. I think you can have like every day on this.
Right. Right.
And I don't think we're going to be able to cover all of it. I think just getting the message out to whomever out there, again, I want to thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, first I want to say, Krishna, thank you so much for coming out and speak.
you're welcome.
And I pray that God will bless you, and that you will find peace within you to continue this journey of recovery. And that anytime your mind says, I want to drink, that you will say no, and that you will reach out to your sponsor or reach out to me or your wife or whoever it is. So I applaud you. I trust the process, and I believe that things will work out, and all the very best to you. To your beautiful
so
wife,
much.
you are welcome. To your beautiful wife, I cannot tell you how grateful I am to have crossed paths with you. I know we are friends on Facebook, and you've always, despite all that she's going through, she find the time to donate to my cause, to a lot of people's cause. She's always willing to help, even if $10, $20. I am grateful for all your support. Sadi, thank you very much. Despite I call you late, that you were right on the spot, say I'm coming, and thank you for always supporting me too. And together we all could make a difference. To our guest who's watching, our viewers, I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting this show, the Ken Rampersaud Show. And don't forget, they're going to leave or they're going to sit and wait. I don't know what they plan to do, but I will have my other guest who is an alcohol and drug counselor from upstate New York. I hope he's listening, and you can come in now. I'm going to play a song while we make that change over. Again, thank you guys for coming on this show. And take it easy, right? It's one day at a time. Count your days. Let me know how your day is going, and I will always support you. Until then, I'll see you guys later. But you guys stay on the line. Don't.
Maha Productions. Your girls is here. Sorry, Tara. Attitude, I fuck for the liking. Back then for the perfect aligning. Before you get a ring, boy, mash up the thing, boy. See the position of you whining.
So naughty, so naughty, so naughty. दे दूंगी जान जुदा मत हो नारे मैंने तुझे बड़ी देर में जाना हुआ कसूर खफा मत हो नारे मैंने तुझे बड़ी देर में जाना हुआ कसूर खफा मत हो नारे ओ मेरे सोना रे
position, see me position, position. See me back bend, boy, see me position. Before you give me ring, boy, mash up the thing, boy. See me position for the whining and beat it. Give me like a cherry on red. Neither like me, you are pushing your tread. No bother, sorry, if you cry on me, cause boy, me that hate, and me want it.
मेरी बाहों से निकल के तू अगर मेरे रास्ते से हट जाएगा तो लहरा के पलका के मेरा साया तेरे तन से लिपट जाएगा तुम चुराओ लाख दाना चोरते हैं कवे अरमां कि मेरे साथ रहोगे रहोगे जहाँ ओ मेरी सोना रे दे दूंगी जान जुदा मत होना रे मैंने तुझे बड़ी देर में जाना हुआ कसूर खफा मत होना रे मैंने तुझे बड़ी देर में जाना हुआ कसूर खफा मत होना रे ओ मेरी सोना रे
See me position, position. See me back bend, boy, see me position. Before you give me ring, boy, mash up the thing, boy. See me position for the whining and beat it. Give me like a cherry on red. Neither like me, you are pushing your tread. No bother, sorry, if you cry on me, cause boy, me that hate, and me want it.
दुनिया हमसे न छिपाओ वो बनावट की सारी अदाएं लिए कि तुम इस पे हो इतराते कि मैं पीछे हो सालते जाए लिए जी मैं खुश हूँ मेरे होना झूठ है क्या सच कहो ना कि मैं भी साथ रहोगे रहोगे जहाँ ओ मेरी सोना रे दे दूंगी जान जुदा मत होना रे मैंने तुझे बड़ी देर में जाना हुआ कसूर खफा मत होना रे मैंने तुझे बड़ी देर में जाना हुआ कसूर खफा मत होना रे ओ मेरी सोना रे
But you have to fuck for the liking. Back then for the perfect aligning. Before you give me ring, boy, mash up the thing, boy. See the position of the whining. See me position, position. See me back bend, boy, see me position. Before you give me ring, boy, mash up the thing, boy. See me position for the whining.
Welcome back to the Ken Rampersaud Show here on Island Zone Radio. I am trying to get on to my guest. Hope that he could join us. He is having some difficulty in joining the stream, but in the meantime, I could talk a little bit about alcohol problem. As you know, I'm an alcohol nurse and drug addiction nurse here in New York. I've spent many years as a wealth of experience in this kind of nursing. And one of the things I want to tell you is that sometimes we think in life that taking a shot here and a shot there, and it's not going to cause any problem. One of the things that you will need to do is to try your very best not to drink too much, because you know what, you take one drink today, then you want one tomorrow, then you want another day. So try your very best not to get started with this. Alcohol is not going to solve any problem. It's never going to start ease any of your problem. All it's going to do, it's going to cause more problem. It's causing a lot of family problem in our community, especially our Indian men that's drinking a lot. And I'm not saying people don't really drink. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people do drink. A lot of people stay home and drink. A lot of people drink and could function effectively. And so we don't want that. Sometimes you see people drink and they still drive. And then when they get into an accident, then it's a whole different story. And while I'm still trying to get the young man in studio, if he can come on tonight, I'll probably have to bring him in studio another day. But I think I can manage to talk a little bit about this. A lot of times we fight with our family, and we hope that fighting is the best way to approach it, where sometimes people do not want to hear that. A lot of times, like we have said with this young man, that We can talk. We can talk from now till next week, from now till tomorrow. The problem is that if the person who is having the problem drinking, if they don't accept to themselves that inside of them that they have a problem, then guess what? There is no way that they are going to get any help. So the first thing that I like about Krishna, what he says, is that guess what? I have accepted that I have a problem with myself, and then I'm going to start and get treatment for my own self. The sad thing is, and I'm hoping that Krishna can get all the help there is. He's in the United States of America. He's having problem with his liver. His liver start to give him problems. He start to pass blood and all these things. I hope that it's not too late for him, because we all know that sometimes when you have alcohol problem, you can end up with cirrhosis of the liver. You can end up getting a seizure, and seizure, sometimes, a lot of times people get seizures, and guess what? Nobody's there to help them when they get a seizure. They end up dying. So we have to be very careful how we deal with someone who is an alcoholic. We don't want to leave them by themselves, especially if they have a seizure problem. You want to get them medical help. And I'm going to tell you, I work at a non-medical detox. Years ago, I used to work at a detox center where it's supervised, where there's a doctor, there's nurses like myself. The thing is that what used to happen, the doctor see you, then they give you medication so that you don't get any seizures. And even if you do get a seizure, what happens is that the doctor is there to take care of you. There's nurses there to help you. But when you're home, there's nobody to really help you. Now, when you go to a non-medical detox, that's where I work now. There is no doctor there. However, we are there as nurses. If we notice the patient going through any problems, if they're having tremors, we check their hands. If they're having any tremors, they're having any seizures, what we do, we call 911 and send them straight to the hospital, and to make sure that they get the kind of help that they need to get. I can't remember, about 2 months ago, I wanted to get a bulb for my car, and as I left the unit, the building, for like 10 minutes, one of the patients fell, and he had a seizure. It's lucky that I was so close to the building that I had to turn back and get back to the building, you know. Another way, we don't want to talk to people negatively in terms of alcohol. We don't want to fight with them. We don't want to argue with them. We need to have a nice civil conversation to see how we could get them. We don't need to threaten them, to punish them, or tell them, listen, you got to move. We can't cook for you. We can't do these kind of things for you. A lot of times we get husbands or we get a wife who cover up for their family members. You got, when you talk about alcohol, you know what? They cover for them. Oh no, he not drink. Oh, he don't have a problem. But the truth of the matter is that they do have a problem in drinking and in drugging. The other thing is that you always want to help your family to get help. You want your family to, you encourage them to go get help. Let them know that, listen, I have done enough work. I've done a lot of work in trying to get you to detox. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. So try your very best to help your family to get help. And we all know that so many times that with alcohol and drug abuse, there is one thing that I've always tell people is there is relapse in recovery. Um, I didn't realize that we would have a problem with my other guest, or else I would have keep Sally and we could have really talked a lot more about this. So again, you want to encourage your family member to go and get a lot of help that they want to do, support your loved one. And I got to tell you this, that I really I cannot tell you how important it is to have family love and their support. And Bibi is doing such a fantastic job. She is just a role model to show really what a wife really should be doing. However, I got to tell you, I give kudos to her, because one of the things with alcohol and drugs, there is so much deception, there is so much lying, there is so much cheating, and there is so many things that goes on. There is abuse that goes on in the whole family. So I have to give her credit for all that she is doing for her family. Also, if your doctor says or your counselor says, you know what, you need to go to a meeting every week or 3 times a week, it's important that you go and get help. take your family member to get help and to get support, because sometimes they cannot do it by themselves. If you see they stop drinking in a month or 6 months and they start again, you want to nip that right in the butt. Try call somebody, call their supporter, someone who can help them to get all the best thing. You don't want to be an enabler for your family. And when I say enabler, you don't want to be the person who's offering your family alcohol or drugs. You want to be the one that said, no, don't drink. It's not a good idea, right? So, for those who give their family members or give them money to buy alcohol, and the truth of the matter is, sometimes people do give their family members money to buy alcohol so that they could help them and to keep them quiet. The wife may give them money to buy alcohol so they doesn't beat the wife, because sometimes when men doesn't get money or women don't get money to buy their alcohol, what happens is that they beat the wife, and then the wife will say, okay, let me give you money, let you get drunk and then lay down and to go and sleep. This time we are putting a lot of problems on the family and for yourself. Like I said, one of the things that I didn't agree with our boy Krishna is that he's beating himself down. And one of the things is that you cannot beat yourself. Excuse me. One of the things you can do, don't beat yourself down. Know that you've made a mistake, and you're going to try your very best to get help and all the help that there is. Krishna is going to learn somehow or the other that, you know what, it's a disease, and he's going to get he's getting all the help he can get. When you have a positive mindset of all the things that you want to do and that you are going to do, you are going to be better off. It's going to put you at a better place. So, again, don't beat yourself up. Realize that you have made a mistake and you're going to try to correct that mistake. Also, a lot of times how can I address this and how can I say this? That I have two boys and three sons. I got to say, Geeta got a son, I got two sons, and together we got three sons. One of the things is, as young boys, we tend to experience sometimes encourage our children to tell them something, take a shot, don't worry about it. But I got to tell you one thing: I got my boys. I am not going to encourage them to drink. I want to encourage them to read, study their books, and do whatever it is to make them a good human being. Offering our kids, our children, we don't know what we are going to do for them. At the end of the road, they might end up an alcoholic, like what we said just now. So many guys. If you walk down Richmond Hill, you will see how much Guyanese guy. I don't want to say guy. So much, and we see a lot of Spanish people too. A lot of guys, they're drunk and they're lying on Richmond Hill. Some of them sleeping in the subway, some of them sleeping on the pavement. So we got to inculcate in our children and let them know that despite whatever it is, don't drink. Don't think that alcohol is going to make you happy. Don't think alcohol is going to make you glad. Don't think it's going to make you achieve anything. It might just make you feel a little good for that time. And like I said before, and I'm going to reiterate again, alcohol is not going to solve your problem. When you drink, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get drunk. A lot of guys, their wife end up cheating on them. Right, Krishna? The wife, you say yes. The wife going to end up cheating with them, because guess what? With alcohol abuse, you tend to get impotence. And guess what? Wife will have to search somewhere else for what she's not getting home. Despite we say a lot of times that, oh, you come back? Good. I'm glad Sadi's back, so we'll have a good conversation. Sadi probably was listening to me just now, so we can talk a little bit, and I'm glad I don't have to do all the talking, and you will see Sadi will come on. Sadi will come back, and I'm glad that he came back to help me so that I don't have to do much of the talking. So Sadi, before you get too comfortable on the chair, this is Sadi, guys. He's always supporting this show here, the Ken Rampersaud show. So Sadi, let me ask you, in terms of how do we deal with this with a family? How if our parents fight with us, what's the best way to approach this?
You mean the family and the alcohol?
Right.
So, yeah. So,
by the way, wait, Sadi and me, we are from the same place, Lenora, and we are from the same street in Lenora. So big up to my Lenora man. Good,
big up Lenora. Unfortunately, that happens.
Right.
Because human instinct, right? The first thing you do, hey, why you be like that? Well, you gotta change, and you want to fight, and what that does is push the person away.
Mm-hmm.
You know this, right?
Right.
The more you tell somebody, it's like dealing with a kid. The more you tell a kid not to do something, the more they're gonna do it,
Right. Right.
or they'll be defined,
Right. Right.
right? Meaning they're not gonna want to listen to you. The best way to handle it, sometimes it's not for the family to speak with them.
Mm-hmm.
Get somebody. You can get a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
or you can call one of the number of places around. For example, Krishna was talking about AA. They have offices all around the world,
Correct.
and
Yes.
they have numbers you can call and say, "Hey, I have a family member. They need help. Can somebody speak with them?" They're probably gonna ask you a few questions, or they're definitely gonna ask you a few questions,
Mm-hmm.
and then you deal with it that way. There are a lot of substance abuse specialists, social worker. If they work with a company, the company usually have an EAP,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Absolutely.
And that's federally regulated, and they're
You can't
so
get fired.
right, exactly. Especially people who work with big companies, they always have an EAP, and then the company, as part of the health plan,
Right.
they would send them to detox, right? So it's not money coming out of your pocket, like,
Absolutely.
that kind of thing. For kids that are in school, because let's face it, there are teenagers who drink excessively. We might not want to talk about it. It's like, oh, he's a good boy, man. He party a lot, right? The party at some point is not a party anymore, right? So even the school system has psychologists, child psychologists, and so on, that would be more than happy to help. So there are things out there. What the issue is in our community, God forbid we tell somebody our family has an issue. Nobody wants to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Meanwhile, we see them coming home drunk every night, or oh, where is John tonight? Oh, John can't make it. He's not feeling well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's homesick, right? Big family get together, not showing up, or they'll show up only if there's rum, right? So, and these are the things, these are the issues that we face. Now, getting the family to help, first, the family needs to understand.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
good to have a family meeting, though.
yes,
I think it's important.
it is very important. Sometimes it helps, especially wait for a good time. Don't do it like I said before, right? Don't do it in the middle of the man binging.
Probably we should bring back Krishna on the air.
Yeah.
Krishna, you want to come back? You could come. It's not a problem, but you will stay right here.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things is that while he's deciding if he want to come back or not, I know that his wife, she had a stroke. One of the things is that a lot of times that people who taking care of an alcoholic, what really goes on is that the family, the wife or the husband. And by the way, we are doing this other segment without Isa, and so Isa, we'll schedule for now. We'll reschedule for another day. I'll have more tough questions for you, and you. I hope you take some notes of what's going on today. So we'll bring you back another day. Don't stress yourself. I'm your brother, and I'll bring you back. Don't worry. The other thing is, a lot of times, as I'm saying, is that his wife will have to be very careful how much effort she's placing on this husband, because the truth be told, if something happened to her, what's going to happen to him? So we want to let's ask him, or we should probably ask her too, but she's a bit far in the studio. So the thing is that, like I said, are you mindful that your wife, she's sick and she's spending a lot of time behind you? Do you really consider that sometimes to see how best I can help her?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay. And how does that make you feel, though? Um, that because I don't want to tell people how we met not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, but I see she spent money to go get taxi, to go back and forth, behind you, doing a lot of things. And one of the things that I was thinking about is that, oh my God, so much money is wasting unnecessarily, in my opinion. But the truth of the matter is that she really wanted to help you. How do you feel? And I hope that your family can hear it. And I want to say, let me send a message to the family. As a nurse who have been in this profession for over 30 years, I've been in Queens, and you're right, Saudi. I've been serving Queens, the Queens community, for over 20 years. In terms of addiction, alcoholism, a long time. And I've seen a lot of things. I got a lot of experience. I stay quiet sometimes, make a lot of noise home, but no one knows. Probably you guys realize, like my in-laws see me, they think that's by stupid or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or your family will think that by stupid, that by no, you're not. I mean, with my jokes and whatever it is. But I've been in this community, and one of the reasons I started this Ken Rampersaud show is to address things like domestic violence, alcohol abuse, domestic abuse, I said, and so many other different things that I see that's affecting our community. I probably don't have the best voice for doing a radio show. I am not the most brilliant one, but I thank God that I can. Sometimes I must sit down here. People don't realize I'm at awe of my own self, rattling off on this radio before you came. You know what I'm saying? But thank God for that. That's God, not me. Don't buy that. But I want to send a message to Krishna family if they're listening, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, with no ill intention. He is suffering. His wife is suffering. And if you guys can support them, I can be the mediator. This young man next to me, he's a very intelligent man. He came from a brilliant family. He worked in the banking industry. Am I right? He did with a lot of cash. But he knows.
I only work there. Right? It's not my cash. I just work there.
Right. So the truth of the matter is, excuse me, that Sally always helps. So he knows some of the things that I do in the background. So if the family is watching, I wanted to ask you to, who've been around you, but let me say, please support this family. This guy is bawling for help. The wife is bawling for help, and she needs the help. I cannot say that she's putting these things on Facebook for any kind of attention. It is true what she's saying. She needs love and some help.
Yes.
What's your take?
Yeah. Like the disease, right? It affects everybody. Same with the recovery. Like you need that support. And it's very hard, especially, I know for a woman, it's much hard. Imagine much harder, right? For them to deal with it, because a guy can deal with it, right? You'll figure something, you'll make it work. But for a woman, there's so many other hurdles that they have to go through. They can't just leave the kids and just leave the house and go do whatever they need to do, right? So the support for the family, as Bibi was talking about before, the Al-Anon, Alateen. Alateen is for teenagers or for younger kids who have family members. Al-Anon is not just for the wife; it's for the parents, it's for the brother, it's for the sister. Whomever was affected or lived with somebody who suffered from alcoholism. And a lot of times people don't talk about those programs. They talk about the recovery programs. But, the spouse or the family suffers even more. Because it's not just the alcohol, right? They suffer emotional, mental, right? All of these things, the kid wanted to go to this certain school, but they can't go because dad or mom is drinking and they don't have the money to go to that school. The opportunities, the lost opportunities that kids have because, the parent is suffering from alcoholism. So these are the things, and it has a lasting effect. I mean, you and I can sit here and talk about families we know right in Lenora that just can't get up and out of poverty because the parents were alcoholics. I mean, we can't call them that, but we know. I mean, they were drunk every night, like right? So, and now that's a ramification that would suffer maybe for 2 generations, right? Because
Absolutely.
the kids didn't go to school. So now what that means, they can't have a certain type of job, right? What they can do, cane cutting, right? Or work for somebody, right? Who's going to treat them less than because their parents are alcoholics, right? And now they get kids. Now their kids suffer the same stigma,
Yeah.
because the entire family, like we know of families that if you call their name, I'll be like, oh my
One was your
God.
neighbor too?
Yeah, yes, right?
Right.
And I remember those guys,
Right.
Friday night, they all come home and their wives are beating them. Why are the wives beating them? Because they stopped by Albert Lou and they drank so much they have no money to come home with. Oh my God! And the kids, man. This is the thing, and it hurts. It hurts looking at it. I can imagine, and people out there talking about, yeah, it's not such a thing. Trust me, go into the trenches, go to a detox, and see a man can't get up and walk and go to the bathroom himself. Or go to the hospital and watch the wives and the kids come in and say, oh my God, what's going on with my dad? Or. So don't be so dismissive. It's very easy to dismiss. Oh, it's not such a thing. It's mind over matter. It's not mind over matter, right? Somebody suffer from cancer, you're not going to tell him, oh, it's mind over matter. Don't worry about it, right? But that's the thing.
I'm going to let me say I see some guys here that I want to say hello to, but I'm going to ask you a question when we come back.
Okay.
My question going to be, how do you feel that your family is not supporting you or your wife? Think about your answer. I'm
Yeah.
going to give some love out. I call it love. We got my sister Anita is watching, and she says that we all need our family. We were all dealing with sensitive issue. We need the shoulders to lean on and someone to talk to. It's good to have Janetta Brandon is watching from Puerto Rico, our good friend. Stanley is watching. DJ Lal, a very good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much. And yes, I do enjoy some of your beautiful music that you do play. My aunt Delari Sigobin is watching us from Guyana. Ravindra said, yes, indeed, he's talking the truth. Bansi Prasad, good night. Stanley Ramsaran and family. Paul Ratness, good evening to you. It's good to have you on. Let's see, we have Stanley again. Hardat Ram is watching all the way from Canada. A very good evening to you. So let's hear our boy, star by Krishna, answer. Krishna, again, how do you feel that your family is not supporting you or your family, your wife? And okay, I don't want to give it too long question, but go ahead. How do you feel?
Well, actually, I feel bad about it.
You do?
Yes, I feel very, very bad about it. And they're saying things which it's not true and stuff like that. And my wife be with me from the day that I am in the hospital, and with this abuse, this drugs thing, she there behind me, foot to
100%.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would not give no credit to my family, but her and my cousin, which is a doctor.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's got all my medical report stuff I had to send down for her, and she's advising me.
Before we go, right? I saw Diraj walk in without any food. He always walk in food. I hear they talking today that Diraj, you know Diraj, right?
Yeah.
That Diraj is gonna bring some food for us this afternoon. I was shocked in my teeth that Diraj would bring some chicken curry or something, because to be honest, I'm Christian,
Right.
and I can't do this thing without meat and whatever it is.
Oh,
But
Lent.
well, we got time.
Yeah,
We can send it to the
yeah.
YouTube. But no, I'm not gonna do that. It's okay, Diraj. You come to a little chunky. Anyhow, so the other thing is, what message would you want to send for your family? And we want to send loving message to them. Put your what's your message to your family?
Well, I still love them.
All right.
Thing, and I would, what advice they could give me, stuff like that, I will accept it wholeheartedly.
Right. And another thing that I want to talk before you take the mic, sorry. A lot of times in life, we don't say things that we need to say when we are alive and when people are alive. I don't want this case where something really serious wrong with this guy, and then people on the whole, you see when somebody dead, everybody come and cry
Oh yeah,
and the
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
flower,
I
right?
should have said something. I should have done this. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But here, the fact of the matter is, maybe the family doesn't know how to deal with it,
It's true to story. You
right?
got to think with that.
They don't know how to deal with it, and the simplest way to deal with it is, oh well, it's somebody else's fault, right? It's always somebody else's fault, right? Even the alcoholic. Well, I don't drink because I want to drink. I drink because the wife. I drink because of the family. I drink because there's too much pressure on the job, right? And I drink because I don't have enough money. I don't know how to take care of the family. Right? All these things are just a symptom, right? The alcohol is just a symptom of all this. Same thing with the family member. They don't want to face reality. It's easier to say, well, you can get over it or you'll pass through it, right? But it's we know the reality. That's not the reality. The reality is if you so look, dealing with the extended family, it's always an issue, right? But here is what I know: if the alcoholic takes care of himself or herself, right? We're saying he all the time, but there are ladies out there who can be who are alcoholic too. It's not just men who are alcoholic, right? But if the alcoholic takes care of themselves, everything else falls into place, right? Because now if you take care of yourself physically, because that's the first thing, your body is going through like all these different medical issues.
Right.
You take care of that. You take care of your mental, right? And your emotional by going to support groups, by speaking with therapists. Then you're maybe later on. Don't expect them to come around right away. That's the thing, right? Family, you're not going to flip around right away, right? We're lucky that Bibi is with Krishna.
Right.
Some wives, they're gone a long time ago.
Yeah, and you see
A long time ago, they would be gone. And they're going to tell you, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to your family. I don't want to talk to anything. I'm taking the kids and I'm leaving, right?
Right.
So the most important thing for Krishna is for him to take care of himself. He's doing what is needed, right? He's going to the 12-step program. He's getting the help he needed. So the most important thing is to take care of himself. Family, it's always a tricky thing. You know this,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Like you don't want to come off like you're telling them what to do. What I can say is suggest that they open their minds. Nobody's saying, hey, do everything for them. Just at least be accepting. Let's start there.
Yeah, accepting.
Be
Absolutely.
accepting of like, okay, he has an issue. How can we help? And start from there, because he comes back a year from now, God willing, or 2 years from now, it's a totally different man is going to be sitting here. Is he going to sound different? Remember, so I always talk about this story. Remember the one guy that we brought at Vanwick? Right? Guyanese guy. He was living on the street at Liberty, right? Liberty seems like all the 123rd and Liberty. That's the central, right? And we brought him there. I remember I came back like a couple of weeks later. I said, let me check on this guy. And you said, look, that's the man. And I couldn't recognize the man. He was a totally different person in 2 weeks. I don't know where he is now. Like I don't follow them, these guys where they are and all of that. Hopefully he's doing well. But this is the thing. If the family can help, if they can't do anything else, just moral support, right? Can it, like the family, when asking them to give money and do this and do that, moral support, that goes a long way. Just if people know, like, okay, I have this auntie I can call and she's going to help me out a little bit. She's going to talk to me, or this uncle is going to talk to me. And this Christian is saying right here, he has somebody who's a doctor in his family who's helping him. And that goes a long way. It's just emotional support, man. That is a very hard thing to get, but, we try.
She got to feed Krishna a little good too, because Krishna sound a little weak here today. So she got now a fast time for her too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Ramadan month. So So we have to
No rat for us.
and no
Yeah.
rod for you too. So you there bad. She can eat the beef, you can't touch nothing meat. Right? And I am a Christian, so Lord Jesus, I'm a sinner too. What can I tell you? I'm eating everything. I have to probably
You're
pray.
not following Lent?
No,
What are you going to tell God, Kenneth? What are you
What?
going to tell God when you go up there?
Lord, I had a conversation with Krishna. I was trying to save Krishna, But on a serious note, we have to really help in any way we can help. And thank you for um, reaching out to me and to other people and help them. You went to QC in Guyana, right?
Bishops.
All right,
Not
bye.
QC, man.
All right, yeah. This guy he went to
QC.
Bishop's High School in Guyana. Very brilliant guy, and I know most of you know his father name. I'm not gonna say.
Carmichael Street, right?
So,
Yes.
Bishops, yeah. So he's a brilliant young man, knows a lot, and always contributing. And the truth of the matter is, how I met Sadi, I don't know if he remembers, but one day I was at work, and this guy came to donate some clothes for the organization. And then I said to Sadi, I said, wait, where you from? I said, is this guy your father? And I said, "Boy, you don't know me.
Yeah.
I'm your street man. I'm from Lenora."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a
That's
long
how-
time
that's
ago.
a
It's
long
like,
time.
what, 10 years?
More
11
probably
years?
10
More than
years,
that? Yeah.
That's how Sadi and myself meet. And since then, he like he said, he was on this show quite some time. So, why he drinks so much? Somebody want you to answer this question. You could come to the mic. Why are you drinking so much? Do you think your body is calling you? And I know the answer, but I want you to answer this question. Are you drinking because you have a lot of problems in life, or because the alcohol is calling you to drink?
Actually, I will say the alcohol is calling me to
It's
drink.
calling you to drink.
Yes.
And it's a true story. Either they call it craving, right? You know about the craving business.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Shyam, and like I said, I'm so glad that you're watching. Probably hope we can. And sometimes people don't. When one reaches this stage in life, he have been drinking such a long time. It's because of the alcohol now is controlling him, is calling him to drink. So I'm glad that you're tuning in, and I hope that you can reach out to me and or Saudi and see how best we can help this young man. It's not that he got problems. I know his wife for a long time, who have been helping out in our community, and hope that she continue to support him, and hope that you continue to support Shyam. At the end of the day, he is your brother, and no matter what, we need to support our family. If we can't support our family, then who else? Like I've always said, if a mother can't love her child, who else gonna love them? Right? Your brother is watching, Shyam Bejnat. Good to have him on. You want to tell him anything with love? Sean is watching.
Oh, it's my small brother.
You love your brother, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You need a start?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's where it's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the good thing is that I hope that Sean can reach out to you and, over dinner without your wife, because sometimes people are like wife there and so on. Can meet with you.
Yeah, he's coming in next 2 months.
Where he there?
Good.
He's in Guyana.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow. Good.
For him.
Yeah.
So when he come, and like I said, I've been doing addiction for many, many years. I've seen people in addiction when I started addiction business way in the 90s, and I still get patients who still, I know them from back then.
Right.
And I said, what happened to you guys?
Right.
What's really going on? And most of the guys who I know are homeless.
Right.
So, like I said, if you get love and you support, you will thrive better and you do better. I'm so glad that your wife is supporting you, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. And that is a typical question you get, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people. I went to see a guy in his house. He's like 60-something years old, right? Have a house, wife and kids. Kids are married, grandkids, right? And the parents, somebody called us. They're like, can you go talk to this guy, right? So we went there, and the wife, she says, why is he drinking so much? He has everything.
Right.
Why is he drinking? And that is the disease. And we touched on it, right? There's the obsession and there's the compulsion, right? The obsession is you start thinking about drink, you can't stop. And then once you put the drink in your body now, you're going to drink all the time, right?
Right.
So, and that is the medical aspect of it. So now some people, and this is where the stigma comes in. Well, the man drink because he got enough problems, or the man drink because the wife give him problems. Or so you're telling me the other people who wife giving them problems and not drinking, their problems are not as bad, right? So I mean,
What you gonna say? Wait, what about who got wife and a drink?
all right, exactly. What's the point? What's the problem? Oh, well, because he need a wife. That's why he's drinking. All right. So there's always something, right? And we can always blame something else. Think of it as a disease. Think of it as a disease. Don't try to make up anything. Well, the man a drink because of this, or the woman a drink because of this, and if he didn't go to New York, he wouldn't have been drinking. He been then. Forget all of that. Think of it as a disease. It's a disease of the mind. It's the mind. In medical term, they tell you it's a physiological disease, right? It affects the brain and affects the body, right? And then when you go to deeper therapy, it says it's a threefold disease. It's the mind, body, and spirit.
And your soul too,
right? But we can't talk about spirit. We're gonna become a religious program. So let's stay from that. Just think of it this way. Forget whatever you think you know. Forget whatever like, look, I don't have a medical degree. You do, but I don't, right? And most of the people out there who's going to have something to say probably do not have a medical degree.
Right.
So let's keep that subject matter for the professionals. Just think of it this way, the simplest of the terms. It's a disease. It's just like somebody got cancer. You don't say, well, why you got cancer, right? Oh, well, we don't know. Treat it as a disease. If you treat it as a disease, you'll treat the person with more respect, right? And that's where it comes down.
And I'm so glad that Shyam says that he is supportive to his brother. Continue, guys, to do that. Also, and I'm glad he say that he's supporting his brother. Also, his wife needs support too. So if you guys could support the wife too, sometimes you have to pass. Listen, not because you don't like someone. You could hate someone or dislike someone and still support them. So, and I'm not saying that anybody don't like anybody, but you know what I'm saying? Support him and his wife. You don't have to be blood family to get support. Listen, me and you, we support people who are on the street.
Yeah.
You call me,
Mm-hmm.
Ken, can you help this one? I say, I got you. Bring him so and such a date. I'm on duty.
Right.
Or you will say, or I'll say, let's help this person.
Right.
Whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really glad that you came back, Sally, to help me.
I was 1 block away, and
really?
I tuned in, and you're like, well, I was like, oh, shucks, I turned back on Hillside.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much for coming in. So I see my beautiful wife, Geeta Rampersaud, is watching. And thank you very much, Shyam, for watching. Ravindra Ramcharan, thank you for your love, your support always. And Janet Hussein, good evening. Let's see, we have my Aunt Dolores Sigo who is watching in Guyana. She's on vacation.
You're multinational, boy. You got enough people from Canada,
India, and Australia. That's a good thing. But it's just a good thing that people are watching.
Yes.
If people could share. Also, I want to say I'm so glad I see Police Officer Kayum Khan is watching. He's another community guy that we cannot pay him for his love, support in our community. I could see it coming out of his pores, how supportive he is. And guess why? I want to say congratulations. He's now a detective.
What?
He has
nice.
He has been promoted to a higher ground, and he will continue to do great things. So I don't know. I hope that he and his wife can tune in to go with me to Guyana when I'm going to do some work. Also, another thing I want to say that I'm so glad last week I was able to interview the minister Prasad in Guyana. Was a plus for me.
Nice.
Was so good to have her on. Very articulate young lady. And if you see her, keep sharing the page. Her show, she was very articulate, very brilliant young lady. I'm a talk show host, but Lord, she could rattle a conversation.
That's good.
So I like that. She represents Guyana very well. So please don't forget, keep sharing that show. My teacher, Eric Ferrier, is watching. That's my teacher husband. Program, Ken. Our community needs this type of conversation. Thank you. And Eric, your wife taught me in high school, Leonard Secondary School. I'm always giving good shout out to her because I've always says that without people like Miss Chandrauti, in my life, I could not be the star that I am
Mm.
today. We have to give kudos to our teachers.
Yes.
And I want to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to give a good speech to Miss Etwaro, who has done so much for our community. Man, she should have get a national award for all the contributions you have done. She have changed the landscape of Ghana in terms of young girls typing.
Yes.
A mother,
I remember.
right?
They used to have so many girls went there and
Yeah.
learn how to type, and went on to successful career. I have cousins
Oh, really?
who became like master typists. You know, and they
Yes.
work with companies. One of my cousins, she went there, and then she went to Canada right away. She got a job, and she
All because they went to her school.
yeah, I
On
mean,
the
a
class.
lot of even some of a couple of my sisters went there, learned.
yeah?
Yeah, because she was right there in the
Yes.
neighborhood,
Right,
and
right.
so like almost I shouldn't say almost all, but a lot of the young ladies used to go there because worst case scenario, you don't have anything, at least you know shorthand, you know typing, you can find a job. I mean, it was Guyana, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for women,
Yes.
but some of them with that basic background, when they came to United States and Canada,
Yes.
they were able to excel. Like my
Yeah.
cousin knew shorthand. Like she passed the test right away. She worked in Department of Education in Canada and retired from that company.
good for her.
You know, so a lot of them. One of them worked with York University,
Wow.
and
good.
she's like the assistant to the dean, just because they went to that same school.
So tonight,
Mhm.
after the show,
Mhm.
after we finish with the Raj,
Mhm.
dinner, I'll sit down and put my brains and my thoughts, not my brain.
You
my
should
brains
reach out
together.
to some of the young ladies that went to her school.
Probably I could do a show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
could
God.
do that. I could.
Yeah.
And so I want to do a show in her memory. Bibi Mahabir is watching, Bibi and teacher Mahabir are watching. Oh, thank you very much. I'm always glad to have teachers watching. So big up to all you teachers and kudos to all you guys. Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
his teacher. Good. Yeah. Oh, she teach him physics. So this
Nice.
boy is a little bright boy here.
Ah, where you went? Which school you went? Cummings Lodge. Oh,
Good.
shucks.
Bibi, we got Zabida back. Sometimes I say 2 hours is a long time.
Yeah.
And that's my friend too, from
Mhm.
Bartica. So, you know, the story is that sometimes I say to myself, 2 hours is such a long time. But now that we are talking,
Time flies when you're
time
having
is
fun.
flying. But so tonight I will write a nice speech to her. I hope I could do her justice. I hope that all the right words that I'm feeling inside of my heart would just flow tomorrow. I'll say a beautiful poem on her behalf because she have touched. I'm one of the first guy she really taught how to type. And
Really?
guys didn't want to type. They think
Right,
it's a
right, right. It's a girl thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to.
Thank
Now you
God.
need to know
Now
how
you
to
know to type.
type.
Everybody needs to know to type. So I was way ahead of the game. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the Ken Rampersaud show here on Island Zone Radio. I want to say thank you very much to Bibi and to Krishna and to Saudi for being on the Ken Rampersaud show. Thank you for turning back and for coming and to help
my
because
pleasure.
I would have been off already. You know, sometimes my throat give me some problem here. And then we have coming up. So, Anila Satar, a very good evening. Let's see if we miss anybody. Anila Satar watching. Ryan Lala said, great show. Tomorrow.
That's my wife.
Oh, that's your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. I am so proud of your husband. we grew up together, by the way. And he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Zabida Baksh, thank you very much for watching. And Bibi Mohabir, thank you so much for teaching this young man. Thanks for teaching so many children and for making such a big difference in so many of our children's life. Ryan Lala said, great show. We'll be having him tomorrow night. After the week, tomorrow, after I give my speech, I'm going to run home, get ready for 2 interviews I have tomorrow. Bibi, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for supporting me and my husband, my beautiful friend Neela Pawaru. I cannot tell you we need more of these programs. We will have it. Don't worry. And you know, when I think about people like Neela Pawaru, where I am now is because of people like Neela and her family and her love and her support. And I say that with so much love. Look at Diraj watching me with the turkey there. I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna play no music for him because he didn't bring no food. He always talk about food. And so Shyam, thank you so much for watching the show. I hope that you can reach out to me. We can talk. Let's see. We have Ravindra. Good. Thanks again, everyone. Until next week. No, tomorrow you're gonna watch From Our Hearts with Ken and Radhika Olarti, My Brown Sugar. Pay attention to us tomorrow night. We'll be also talking to Malas Hariprasad watching. She's from Lenora, but she resides in Toronto, in Canada, and we'll be interviewing her. She is a breast cancer survivor. So I will definitely have some good question for her tomorrow. So with love and support, thanks all of you. Kudos to my good friend. I wish you all the very best that life has to offer. I'm always here to support you and your lovely wife. Your wife is a good woman, and I'm so glad that she is supporting you. Until tomorrow night, love you, peace.
Good night.
Good night.